Okay, so now we're gonna do some practice based on the things that we've learned on this unit. So we're gonna try to make something a little bit more presentable, right? So let's start by deleting this floor and use a plane instead because the plane is a little bit more easy to modify. So I'm just gonna choose plane here. Let's make it uh, 30, 30, 30 for the scale. And let's move it down. Okay, something like this. Okay, make sure your building is not floating, so make sure it is connecting there at the bottom. Okay, something like that. All right, so now let's choose a material that makes sense. I'm gonna choose this metal rust. And then as you can see, now we have some sort of dirt looking floor. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and delete these two items that I had here from before. We're not gonna really need them, I think. So delete those. And now, let's do some practice for what's gonna be inside of our building. So first of all, I'm gonna make this a little bit larger because it's a little small. So I'm gonna click scale and then scale it in all directions so that our structure is bigger. Okay, something like this. Okay, something like that. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move our point light to the corner, how we had it before. And now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a different type of light. Okay, so what are we gonna be practicing right now? I want to practice some of the things that I'm gonna be requiring from you in the lab assignment. So if we look at the lab assignment, what am I gonna be asking? I'm gonna be asking for a building structure that uses geometry brushes and at least one entry doorway and one exit doorway. So basically you see how we created one entry doorway here. Remember we did that with the subtractive method, the subtractive feature from the geometry brushes. So use that for the entry and then do another one for an exit, okay? Then convert those to static meshes when it's done. It should have at least two floors in height. So our current one is just the first floor only. So you're going to have to create one that has a second floor. I'll give you an idea of how to do that in a minute. What are some things that we should practice too? The floors need to be connected by stairs. Okay, so let's practice. How do you do those stairs? So here you can actually go on geometry brushes, on geometry, and choose linear stair. Actually, you have to drag and drop it. And then that's gonna create a set of stairs, okay? So this one is looking a little bit small right now. So on the geometry brushes, you can go on brush settings and edit how this stair is gonna look like. So for example, I wanna make it so that it goes a little bit higher. So I'm gonna choose number of steps, let's say 30. You see now my stairs are reaching a little bit more height, but let's increase the step height as well. That's maybe too much. Let's do 25. Okay, that's better. So you see now we have some stairs there. Um, what else can we do for these stairs? Well, we can leave them just like that, but remember, one of the requirements is that convert it to static mesh when finalized. So I'm gonna convert this linear stair static mesh, let's call it. And then there you go. And then let's change the material for this to, I guess, this metal one. Or well, let me look at the material, see one that fits the best. Let's try. Okay, that one looks nice. You can choose the wood oak. Okay, so now we have our stairs there. Make sure it's not going out of the building either, so check outside. Make sure that everything is fitting correctly. Okay. So now let's add a few more things. So now we have the stairs, right? That now you know how to make this requirement. All the static mesh actors need to have materials applied. Well, I'm in mind and making sure that is happening. What else? The building must have at least two different type of lights applied. Point light, spotlight. Be creative with them. So I already have the point light here, but let's go ahead and create a spotlight. Okay, so for the spotlight, we are going to go here, create the spotlight. And now here you can see how this one is different from the point light. It's not going in all directions, instead it's just focusing on one. Okay, so let's actually make it so that this radius is a little bit smaller, let's say 500. And let's rotate it to actually point maybe to this other wall. Okay, so I'm gonna rotate it and then I'm gonna make it point over there and I'm gonna move it around. Yeah, make sure that it is illuminating in front of those stairs like that. And I'm actually gonna change the light color to let's put like a intense red color. Okay, something like this. Okay, so here another thing we can do. Okay, yeah, something like that is fine. Okay, so now the thing is that this point light, even sorry, this spotlight, remember the spotlight is similar to a flashlight, right? It's supposed to be a light that goes in one direction, but right now there is not, the light is basically just by itself, right? Like the light is there, but there's not an actual flashlight that it's connecting to this light. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create the flashlight so that this looks a little bit more realistic. We're gonna go here, create a cube. Well, actually, no, sorry, not a cube, because a flashlight is probably something that looks more like a cylinder. So cylinder, I'm gonna rotate it to make it sort of pointing to the direction where the light is at, right? And I'm gonna scale it to make it thinner, right? Like flashlights are usually small. Okay, let's move it around. Yeah, try to make it have something like this. Make sure all the angles are working fine. Okay, something like that. Okay, but a flashlight is not just gonna be like a cylinder, right? It usually has the front area. So then we are gonna add a cone for that front area. So add a cone and same thing, rotate it to point it uh, towards the light. Make it fit with the cylinder. Okay, something like this. Make sure that you are checking all the angles, right? Something like this. Okay, I'm gonna scale it a little bit smaller. It's okay if yours doesn't look exactly the same as mine, by the way. Just by you doing like similar like similar process is good enough. Don't worry too much about having it exactly the same. Okay. 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 I think finally it's looking good. Okay. So now that this is created, now that this represents my flashlight, I want to combine these two together, right? Right now they are basically different objects. So I'm gonna go ahead and select both of them, cone and cylinder, use Control key to select both at once, and then go ahead here and go on group. Okay, so group, and now as you can see, now they are both the same item. Okay, and now I'm gonna apply material to it. I'm gonna apply, well, let's look from here, this gold one maybe. Let's do a golden flashlight. Okay, there you go. But now, and a thing that we're noticing here is that this flashlight is not connected with the light that it's creating. You see, so let's also group those two together. So I'm gonna go on my spotlight and I'm gonna drag it where the group actor is. This group actor means the combination of the cone and the cylinder, the flashlight itself. So actually, let me see if I can rename that. Edit. Uh, well, I don't, it doesn't let me rename it. So, but you understand, right? Like group actor 3, all of this is the flashlight, right? So drag and drop it, the spotlight into the group actor. And now, once you do that, you see how now this became kind of like a child of the group because it has like this little sub menu, right? So now this spotlight belongs on the group. So that means that now when I move the group, basically the flashlight, the light moves. Sorry. Now when I move the group, now the light moves with the flashlight. You see, I'm moving the group, everything moves together, right? So you see now it is actually behaving like a flashlight. Okay. So I'm gonna leave my flashlight there. And we're almost done with our practice. So as you can see, this flashlight, make it so that it's illuminating one of the walls like this. Remember, don't worry if it doesn't look exactly the same as long as you make a flashlight looking object, creating the light into the wall. Have the other light in the corner, then the stairs. That's already good, okay? What other requirements should you know? Add objects to the building to make it more lively, furniture, etc. So you can just go ahead and add some furniture here in the building. Be creative, right? Like for the practice, follow me, but for the lab assignment, be creative and create your building however you want. Don't do it the same as me for the lab assignment. Do your own approach. Okay, for this practice, I think it's good enough like this. Is there anything else in the lab assignment that I didn't really teach? I think everything you should be able to do. Well, how to do the floors in height. Okay, so this is something that I maybe didn't cover, but I think that you all can figure it out. Basically, when you're creating the structure, try to create maybe like a second one on top of the first one. That way, it's two different floors, right? What's another alternative that I can give you for the second floor portion? What about if you create let's say a geometry brush here, like a cone, and then what about you scale it so that it covers the whole thing? You know, something like this. You get what I'm trying to do? So basically, in this way, you created some sort of second floor because this is the first floor down here, and then this is kind of like an attic. You see now how this became some sort of attic here? So this could be a nice way to create like a second floor, or how I said, you can create basically like the second structure on top. That's up to you. Just be creative. But for this practice, I'm not gonna add the second floor. I'm gonna leave it up to you. So I think this is good enough for now. Okay, so for this practice, make sure you have this building with the flashlight here on the wall with a set of stairs. Let me delete this thing that we're gonna need. So you should have the flashlight, the set of stairs, the other light, and the building with the door, with the entry door. So this is what you should have for your practice. But then remember, for the lab assignment, you do your own approach, you do your own level using your creativity, and then follow all these requirements so that you can get the full credit, okay? So how do you want to make this? Completely up to you. Use your creativity, okay?